Go ahead, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr. Rekha G, Dietitian, Oasis Fertility Center, Bengaluru. Welcome all of you to the Facebook Live program. Today, I have chosen the topic stress management. So, let us know about the different factors which are included in the stress management and what is stress itself. So, in this fast-paced world, we are encountered with many of the stresses now and then. It may be from our family life, our personal issues. It may be to the workplace the stresses which are in the workplace. So it may vary from simple things to many of the major things, major aspects, which we are not able to handle many a times. So let us know one by one what is stress, what are stresses, and how it can be managed. What are the responses given by the body to the stress, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of stress, and what are the management tactics. Let us know one by one. So, what is stress? Stress is the collection of physical, emotional, psychological, and behavioral, cognitive response to the external environmental demands. So this may vary from simple things like locking a door to the larger extent to high stresses like loss of a person, beloved, loss of a beloved person or a family member in your life, or many of the things like a marriage. Marriage is also one form of stress. Marriage and change of job, that is also a stress. Stress are not usually negative things. Many of the stresses are positive to our life also. So the loss of a person, that may be a negative, which may lead to many of the psychological things. And if you are not able to manage those things, it may lead to many of the psychological diseases, disorders like post traumatic stress disorder, and depression, anxiety. These are the things which may the outcome of over stress. And many of the stresses like marriage and having a child, having these are things which may be initially a stressful thing, because there will be a changeover from one environment to another environment. So eventually, if you are adjusted, if your body is if physically, mentally started to adjusting to those situations, it will be converted into a positive form. Likewise, change of job, that is also a thing. Finding a new job or going to a higher position, that is also initially that will be a stressful thing. Once we go on adjusting to those situations in the new position, then we will use to that, and that won't be a stressor anymore. Like this, many of the things will go on. What are these stressors? Stressors are the stimuli which are for which our body will respond in a positive or negative way. This may be a simple thing to major things, like as already I told you. So and also it depends on person to person how they cope with the how they tackle with the each stressors, each stressors in their life. So and in general, stress may we can know the stress in different forms, like we will correlate with many of the things like pressure, tension. Many of the things will be correlated with the factor stress. So these are the things about the stress and the stressors. And what are the body's response to the stress? Eventually, when the stress is in a mild form, or in a if you are able to cope up with the external environmental demand, then eventually it won't affect that much, both physically and mentally. When the demand of the environment becomes more, and it becomes if it is beyond your threshold level, then it many of the physical and psychological changes can be noticed in our body. This changes, call it as fight and flight response from the body. What are those fight and flight responses? Let us know one by one. Physically, there will be many of the changes we can notice when if the demand of the environment is more than our threshold. Like there will be increase in blood pressure, increase in heart rate, respiratory rate will be increased, and the blood will gush towards the brain. Because of this, you may be, and also there will be many of the changes like your muscles become stiffer. These are some of the responses given by the body, and also your pupil will get dilated, your hearing becomes sharpened. Many times there will be a perspiration, and many times there will be skin become pale, or it may be blushed sometimes. These are all the physical things which we noticed with response to a demand of the environment. So, what are the psychological things which we notice during facing a stress? Like the thinking capacity will be lowered, and it will be altered, and you can't focus on many of the things at a time, and even though your intensity of thinking becomes sharpened, it will be restricted to the stressor only. Many times you will be agitated, you will feel nervous, and sometimes anxiety will be there. These are other some of the things, and you are not able to recall the many of the things at that moment, and your memory becomes become very short. These are all the psychological response from our body. When we are able to manage all this, manage the stressor, then eventually the body calms down slowly and comes to the normalcy. We are able to tackle many of the other things naturally, and if you are not able to tackle all these things, it may lead to many of the physiological changes and physiological diseases like cardiovascular diseases, type 2 diabetes will be there, hypertension, infertility is one of the causes, and many of the other lifestyle disorder will come because of if you are not able to manage the stress properly. So these why saying all these things means these are the responses. These are the many changes physically, mentally, many of the changes your body go through when we are going to face a stress. So it's not like that. Stress is a very common thing, and it is a natural thing, and each and everyone has to face all these things. It's not like stress management is not like that. We are completely avoiding the stress. It's about learning new better coping mechanism, so that we can manage the stress effectively. So these are the things with respect to stress and stressor, and about the physiological and psychological changes which are going in our body because of the stress. So because of these stress can be divided into positive stress and negative stress. Yes, stress can be a positive thing if it is in moderate or medium to moderate. If stress is medium to moderate, then it will act in a positive way. It will stimulate your brain and may make you become alert to the situation, and helps in managing the things. For example, if you are having exams, then eventually you start to read because of the stress of the exam, and you can manage the exams properly. If you are not having any exams or anything, so you have to go to the school or colleges like that. Simply we have to go there and give the attendance like that. That won't give you any stimuli. Any stress. That will demotivate you, and it may affect the performance also. So mild to moderate level of stress is very essential, and it will be helpful in managing our day-to-day work. When these even though if it is in moderate or mild way, if it become chronic, or if the stress become very high, and if it become chronic thing means continuously you are facing the same thing, then your body will forget to give the response in a proper way, and it will lead to many of the disorders. In mentally and physically, you will be having many of the disorders, and eventually it lead to many of the disease conditions, psychological and even the physical disease conditions. And because of if you are not able to manage these stress, it will lead to many of the negative behavior implementation in your life, like addiction to alcohol, tobacco chewing, smoking, all those things. So these are the things which are adopted by ourselves, in which are not healthy for us, in order to cope with the stress. Even though initially it may stimulate your brain, stimulate your body, and help to manage many of the stresses, eventually it will have a negative effect on your body. It will affect in a such a way that it will release many of the stress hormones like cortisol, and eventually it lead to many of the disease conditions like when you're chronic alcohol, if you are addicted to alcohol because of the stress and all, it may lead to many of the gastrointestinal disturbances, lifestyle, many of the lifestyle disorder you may get, and along with that, many of the psychological, like generalized anxiety disorders. These all things you may be get affected, depression and all those things, and even with the tobacco also. And also if the stress is very mild, and if it is very negligible, it is also a negative thing only, because it won't stimulate you, and it won't prepare you in such a way that to face with the environmental changes. So when it becomes very high and uncontrollable, and it becomes chronic, and then it will lead to many of the disease condition, as I have mentioned earlier. These are all the advantages and disadvantages of stress. So how we can manage all these things? So these can be managed with many of the things, like practicing regular physical activities and exercises, and having a good food habit, eating habit, having good sleep pattern, following the good sleep pattern, and practicing many of the relaxation techniques, and many of the relax meditation. These are the things. By following all these things consistently in your day-to-day routine, it will help in managing many of the stress in your life, so that the intensity can be reduced. So let us learn one by one. Physical activity and exercise. Physical activity by itself isn't a stress. So when initially when we start to practice any physical exercise, eventually our muscles will get hurt. So when we consistently follow the same thing for a particular period of time, then your body get adjusted and used to that. then we won't get that much pain in your muscles or sprain or something like that. So, in the same way, if you are following the physical activity in a consistent way, sorry, if you are able to include physical activity in your day to day routine, so this will definitely help in managing the stress. How it can help means, as by doing physical activity, it will reduce many of the disorders, many helps in managing many of the conditions like type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and your respiratory rate means that will eventually increase during the performance of the exercises, but it will helps in maintaining the respiratory rate. And like that, by managing all these things, it will help in relieving your stress levels and help you to adapt to the any of the stresses if you are going to face. So it becomes very important to include physical activity in your day-to-day routine. Next comes healthy food habits. Yes, healthy food habits has a positive effect on the stress. So it will help in managing the stress. So, like for example, if you are having a having a balanced food in your daily meal plan. So, and along with that, you are using complex carbohydrates. Those things, especially the cereals, whole wheat, whole rice means unpolished rice, all those things, that will eventually helps in releasing the serotonin hormone. This is a feel good hormone which helps in relieving the stress. In the same way, including vitamin C rich foods, omega 3 rich foods. These are also things which will help in releasing serotonin hormones and controlling the cortisol hormones, which is a stress hormone. So eventually, these things will help in managing your stress. When we are in stress, if you are having a negative means coffee as a stress booster, eventually that will affect your body itself. Initially it may stimulate your it will help in managing the stress. But if you are addicted to caffeine products and all, that will eventually increases the level of cortisol in your body, and the stress management, the coping management become disturbed, and also it will affects on your health. So if you are following a proper well balanced food, taking a well balanced food in your daily routine, this will definitely help in managing your stress. And having a good sleep pattern also very much helpful beneficial in managing the stress. Having a good sound sleep, that too within the 10 p.m. to 6 p.m. If you are having a good sound sleep, that will definitely helps in relieving your stress, because this will helps in managing the hormone levels in your body. Not only helps in managing the stress and many of the disease condition which are also a form of stress, that will helps in managing many of those conditions like type 2 diabetes, hypothyroidism, and all those things. So in this way, so if you are in a high stress level, this will definitely affect on your sleep pattern. So these are bidirectional in nature, so we have to manage both the things in a proper way. If you are having a good sleeping pattern, and if you are having this will definitely helps in relieving your stress. The next thing is relaxation techniques, meditation, and different meditation techniques, and muscular relaxation techniques. So, relaxation techniques like deep breathing exercises, if you are practicing daily, if you are giving 10 to 15 minutes in a day for breathing exercise, deep breathing exercises, this will definitely helps in relieving your stress. This is also called as diaphragmatic breathing. breathing pattern. So try to learn it from a trained person, so that you will be follow in a systematic and systematic way, so that it will be beneficial to you. Along with that, progressive muscle relaxation techniques, if you are practicing that also, it will help in relieving the stress. What is this progressive muscle relaxation technique? In this, we have to relax the muscle one by one, according to the instructions, so that each and every muscles of our body has to be relaxed slowly. Eventually, this will helps in managing your stress, and calm down your mind. Helps in relieving many of the conditions like hypertension, and helps in managing the sugar levels, and any strain in your body that can also be reduced because of that. And also guided imaginary techniques. This is also one form of relaxation techniques. In this, by imagining some peaceful place in your mind, and close while closing in a closed eye position, so that you will have a relaxed you can have a relaxed position at that moment, and you will feel by listening the instruction given by a video, or any of the audio things. So it will eventually give us some odd relaxation thing, by imagining peaceful places, like as if you are staying in a seashore, like that. So this will give a soothing effect on your body, and also on your mind, and helps in relieving the stress. And practicing many of the meditation techniques. Meditation not only helps in maintaining physical stress, also helps in managing the many of the psychological stress also. So in this meditation techniques, the thing is that we have to we have to see our body from inward. We have to visualize our body from inwards, like that. So that we have to just concentrate on the things which are going in your body. Just to try to visualize all those things by closing your eyes, so that it will give a relaxation thing. Along with that, you have to accept the things which are all going in your body, so that eventually we are used to that. And in the same technique will help in managing many of the stresses which are from the external environment. So these are some of the techniques. By this we can manage our stress levels. So take away message is that for each and every person, the management of managing the stress is different, because it will vary from person to person, and along with the situation they are facing. So it has to be it has to be customized, and we have to learn in a positive way, so that it will help in managing your stress. If you are not able to manage the stress to the full, and you are if you are feeling any having many of the complications, or if you are having any of the ailments because of those stress and all, so it's better to get a personalized advice from a professional healthcare professionals. So that will be a fine thing. So if in the initial stage only, if you get a proper guidance from a expertise, so that will be easy for you to manage all those things. This is for today. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.